Hi guys, my name is Angela and today I'm going to show you 8 postures that will really help relieve your dreaded menopause symptoms. Yes, we all go through it and as we know, they're not very nice, but a lot of people don't know that yoga really helps relieve these dreaded symptoms of fatigue, not being able to sleep, hot flushes, anxiety, stress. So I'm going to show you some of the best exercises to do to help relieve these symptoms. So we're going to begin with the Tadasana pose. So allow your feet to be slightly apart and lift your toes and then lower them down to the ground. So really rooting your feet into the earth. Stand tall with your body, so imagine being pulled from the crown of your head. Draw your tummy muscles in tight and lift the shoulders, then release them down just to release any tension. Allow your arms to rest down by your sides. Now we're going to begin with a breathing technique. Now this technique will really help with those hot flushes. It's called Sitkari. Now with most breathing techniques in yoga, we inhale in through the nose. When you inhale in through the nose, the air becomes warm before it enters the lungs. When you inhale through the mouth, the air gets moisture before it enters the body. So this really creates a nice cooling effect. Now to do this breathing technique, I'd like you to come into your Tadasana pose. Softly open your mouth and allow your teeth just to gently be together. We will inhale through the teeth and we're going to exhale out the nose. This will create a hissing sound. They say it sounds a little bit like the thing they use in the dentist to suck up the water. It sounds a little bit like this. So combining the inhale through the teeth and the exhale out the nose, you create that nice cooling effect, which you will probably feel at the top of the mouth. Now this will really cool down the body, cool down your head, and really help with those hot flushes. So coming into your Tadasana pose, shut down your eyes, allow your teeth to be together softly, and open your mouth. Take an inhale through the teeth. And exhale out the nose. Let's do 2 more. Really drawing the energy to your spine as you exhale out. Now open your eyes. This is also a great exercise to do if you are struggling to sleep. It helps boost digestion. It helps to reduce fatigue, stress. So all in all, yeah, it's a great breathing technique to do, especially if you do suffer regularly with those hot flushes. What I will say though is, do not practice this breathing technique if you are in a really hot environment or a really cold environment, because when you breathe the air in through your teeth, you're breathing in the temperature that's around you. Okay, so now we're going to go into my posture number 2, which will be a wide leg forward fold. So the benefits of a wide leg forward fold or a normal forward fold is when your head is lower than your heart, receptors are triggered, which lowers blood pressure, heart rate, and your mental activity. So we're going to open the legs wide, just wider than your hips. Your feet are facing forward. Draw your tummy muscles in. Take an inhale, place your hands on your hips and push your hips back, slowly coming down to a nice flat back. Holding it there. Now if you notice that your hamstrings are tight, you can bend your knees for now. Now I recommend, if you want to come all the way down, and you struggle to come all the way down, to use a block, a cushion or a bolster just to rest your head onto. A lot of people can't come all the way down. So grab hold of the shins, the ankles, in your flat back, take an inhale and exhale, lower all the way down. Again, resting your head onto the block or your oyster if you have one, or coming all the way down. We're going to hold this position for 5 breaths. So again, if your hamstrings are tight, just bend the knees, but just keeping that head lower than your heart, and breathe. Really relax into this posture. You shouldn't be holding any tension here. Let's do 3 more deep breaths. And place your hands down to the ground. Inhale to a flat back. Hands come onto the hips, and then make your way all the way back up to standing. Now forward folds or wide leg forward folds really calm and cool down the body also. So if you are one of those people who struggles to sleep at night, I recommend practicing a few forward folds before you go to bed. Okay, so we're going to do our exercise number 3, which will be our warrior 2. So the benefits of any standing posture in yoga for menopause is that they build strong bones. Now, as we progress through menopause, we tend to lose a lot of bone mass. They also help with fatigue by increasing circulation and building strength. So we're going to come into warrior 2. So from your wide leg forward fold, your back foot will turn so it's facing towards the end of the mat, and your front foot will face to the top of the mat. We're going to put a bend into the front knee. Now I'm going to step my back leg out for a deeper stretch. And then as I bend into my front knee, you notice that my leg is in a nice 90-degree angle, making sure that that knee is not over the foot. The spine is lifted long. I'm going to extend your arms out nice and straight. So make sure that the shoulders are nice and stacked, arms straight. And place your gaze to look forward to your front hand. Draw your tummy muscles in tight and really bend into that front leg, but making sure you do not let that knee go over the foot. We're going to hold it here for 3 breaths. So inhaling through your nose and either out your mouth or your nose also. Now let's slowly rise up. We're going to turn the right foot. So we're going to be facing the other side of the mat this time. So your left foot is facing towards the end of the mat. Find your alignment. Oops. Balance posture sometimes makes you fall like me. Okay, and when you're ready, bend into that front leg, making sure that your shoulders are stacked, arms are nice and straight, and your gaze is looking towards your left hand. Draw your tummy muscles in tight. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then slowly rise up and come back to center. Okay, now we're going to come down onto the ground and do our yoga posture number 4. So from this position, we're going to come into all fours. So spread your fingers wide and press the palms of your hands into the ground. Your hips will be slightly apart, so hip distance apart, making sure that your knees and your hips are in line and your wrists and your shoulders are in line. We're going to take 5 cat and cows from here. So as we inhale, we will lift the head, the chest will come forward, tailbone will lift. and the belly will lower. And as we exhale, we'll push the ground away with our hands, drawing the navel to the spine, and really rounding the spine. Let's do 4 more of these. So inhale, and exhale, round. Inhale, and exhale. Let's do 2 more. One more like this. And then come back to a neutral spine and sit back on your heels. So the cat and cow position, why does that benefit for the menopause to help relieve symptoms? Well, as we progress through menopause, our joints become very dry. So those 2 movements, the fluidity of that movement really massages your joints, your tissues, your spine, and it really keeps the spine nice and supple and young. So yeah, it's a great exercise to do, and it's a really good exercise if you struggle with back pain. Okay, so let's come into our posture number 5. So our next position will be a downward facing dog. Now the downward dog position increases oxygen circulation to the brain, enhancing your alertness, which will enhance your alertness. I know a lot of women who suffer with brain fog when they are going through the menopause. The downward dog also increases bone density and builds muscle strength. So let's come into our all fours position again. So again, pressing your palms of your hands into the ground, fingers are spread wide. From this tabletop position, we're going to tuck our toes and then just lift the knees slightly off the ground. Drawing your tummy muscles in, just hold and press the ground away with your hands. So you're really pushing away and feeling this in the shoulders and the arms. Take a breath in. And then exhale if you can. Push the arms back and lengthen the legs. Now you can walk the arms forward for a deeper stretch. If you feel that your hamstrings are still very tight here, just keep the knees bent and rest the chest on the knees. Really stretching through the arms, pushing the ground away, and take a few breaths. And when you feel comfortable, just see if you can release one heel down and then release the other one. Nice and slow. Just releasing tension from the hamstrings. And remembering to breathe. We can also walk up the heels one at a time. And if you're ready, take an inhale, lift the heels, and exhale, release them down. Really pushing those hips high. Trying to get the sternum as close to the ground as you can. Now you can stay here in your downward facing dog, but if you want to challenge your body a little bit more, to build a little bit more strength and muscle, you can round all the way through into your plank pose. Again, pushing the ground away. Hold, engage in the core, squeezing the glutes. And then push back into your down dog. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, round forward. Now if this is a bit of a challenge on the wrist, when we round forward you can drop the knees. Just do what feels right for you. Stay in down dog if you don't enjoy doing the plank position. And then push back. Let's do 1 more like that. So inhale, round forward into your plank. Drawing those tummy muscles in tight. And then exhale back. And breathe. Lovely. Let's lower the knees down and we will come into a seated position in the middle of the mat. So let's come into a seated position in the middle of the mat. Spread the legs nice and wide. Make sure those feet are flexed and your spine is lifted. Now this wide angle pose will really help increase circulation to the pelvis and lift and tone the uterus. It's also a great exercise for anyone who really is struggling with heavy bleeding through your menopause. Now, I would recommend using a bolster, a cushion or a block for this position. Just going to place the cushion in between the legs, lift the spine, take an inhale, and as you exhale, just walk the fingertips forward and just resting yourself over the cushion, over your block or over your bolster. Hold in here, let's take 4 breaths. On this last inhalation, as you exhale, slowly walk the hands back to center and lengthen back through your spine. Release your cushion. Now to come out of this position, you may feel quite a tightness between the inner thighs, so bring the legs in and let's just rock them side to side just to release tension there. Okay, we've got 3 more exercises to do and our next one will be a child's pose. Okay, so with the child's pose position, the benefits of doing this position when you're suffering with menopause symptoms is when you finally get into the position, your head is lower than your heart. This then calms and cools down the nervous system. Okay, so from this position, let's open the legs wide so the knees are level with the sides of the mat and allow your big toes to touch. Just walk your fingertips forward and sit back on your heels. Now, if you struggle to sit all the way back on your heels, you can place your bolster or your cushion just under the hips. Once you're ready, just resting all the way down and then rest your head down to the ground also. Really reach through the fingertips and lengthening through the arm. And just take 5 nice deep breaths in through your nose and out your nose also. And on this last inhalation, as you exhale, slowly rise back up and walk your hands all the way back to your knees. Bring your knees together. Okay, so we've got our last 2 exercises now. So we're going to make our way all the way down onto our backs. Okay, so coming down onto our backs, making sure that I don't burn myself with the candles. We're going to bring the right knee to the chest and then grab hold of the right knee with the left hand and just bring that right knee over your left hip, taking a nice spinal twist to the right. Now this position, this simple spinal twist will help bring blood flow to the kidneys and nourish and support the adrenal glands. So when you're in this position, place your gaze over your right shoulder and let your right arm reach out if you've got room. Just hold it here for 3 breaths, adding some pressure onto that right knee and twisting from the belly. And let's come back to center, release that leg down. Let's bring the left knee into the chest. grab hold of the left knee with the right hand. Let your left arm come out into a T position. Inhale and then exhale. Bringing that left knee over your right hip and looking over your left shoulder. Taking nice, easy breaths in through your nose. Now your nose also twisting from your belly. And then let's come back to center and bring the knees into the chest. Just hug them out, bring your head to your knees. We'll take our last position, which is our Shavasana. So, releasing your legs all the way down to the ground. Just let your feet flop out to the side and your hands will be facing up to the sky. Take this opportunity to really allow your body to completely let go and relax. So the Shavasana pose that we're in right now, the corpse pose that it's otherwise known as, really helps to cool the body, calm the mind. So really enjoy this posture. This is our last position. And just stay here for as long as you feel you want to. Some people even go to sleep in this position. Just really allow every single bit of your muscles to relax, so don't hold on to any tension. Hence why the feet flop out, the hands are facing up to the sky for the energy. Just release and relax, relaxing your jaw, your shoulders, your back, your hips, the knees, every single part of your body. Allow it all to let go and surrender. Now, like I said, you can stay here for the next 5 minutes or so, whatever time you have. But if you don't have that time, let's just roll up into our fetal position and come into the center of the mat. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this class today, and I really hope that these postures help you in some way. I've been practicing yoga for 3 years now, and I'm going through the menopause at the moment. I'm not struggling, to be honest with you. I have to be honest, I have had a few hot flushes, but not so much at the top of the body, mostly at the bottom, from the chest down. I feel, because I practice yoga, that I am dealing with the menopause a lot better than I would have if I wasn't. So I really hope that you do try these when you are struggling. Don't sit in silence and go through all the stress, the sleepless nights, the hot flushes, when you know that you could try and help yourself by just practicing these little exercises once or twice a week. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed and you do get some benefit out of this video. I'm sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Namaste.